Hello students, this is Sudeep Yadav from Spectrum Chemistry, and students, if you are first time visiting to my channel, so please like and subscribe my channel and press the bell icon to get best explanation of NCERT class 7th subject science. And students, if you are watching this video, so please go to my playlist and watch the previous two videos which I have provided in my playlist to create a better understanding for this chapter. And in this video, I am going to discuss about how the heat will transfer in object. So let's see student. Transfer of heat. First of all, we have to know about that what is the transfer of heat. So heat is an energy. Okay. So let's see, heat energy always flows from a region of higher temperature to a region of lower temperature till both attain the same temperature. So this phenomena is called transfer of heat. Let's see, the main ways by which transfer of heat occurs are conduction, convection and radiation. So these are the three different ways by which transfer of heat can take place. So let's see, first way, that is the conduction. Conduction is the transfer of heat from a hotter part to a colder part of an object due to collision of its particle without actual movement of the particles from their position. Heat transfer through conduction occurs within solids and between solid substances that are in direct contact with each other. So this is the conduction. Now next, how does conduction of heat occur? So let's see, how does conduction of heat will occur. In a solid, the molecules are closely arranged, means they are compactly packed in the solid. When a solid is heated, the molecules near the source of heat gain thermal energy and begin to vibrate faster. So in this picture, in this diagram, you can see there is a source of energy. There is a source of energy, that is the candle, that is the burning candle. Okay, so whatever the particles will exist just over the burning candle, they will absorb the heat. So let's see what will happen if they will absorb the heat. The molecule near the source of heat gain thermal energy, means these molecules which are over the burning candle, they will absorb the heat from the source of heat. Okay, and they will start vibration. In these particles, vibration will start. Why? Due to the absorption of the heat. But they can't move here and there because they are compactly packed in this solid substance. That is the reason behind it. Now next point, these molecules when collide with the colder slower molecules and transfer some thermal energy, means these vibrating molecules which have already gained energy, they were vibrating at their own position, but when they will lose their energy by transferring the heat to the neighboring particles, at that time they will lose that energy. Slower molecules means their speed will be the slower down, means their vibration will be slower down. Okay, let's see, transfer some thermal energy making them vibrate faster. Become warm means the adjacent particles will absorb the energy and they will start vibration, and in these particles will be start vibration, becomes a warm, and then in turn collide and transfer the heat to their neighboring particles and so on. So this process will goes on from one end to the another end of the solid. Now next point, in this way heat is transferred from one particle to the next through collision of vibrating particles within substances. So this is the mechanism by which the heat will transfer in the way of conduction process. So you can see in this figure there is a need of the candle, that is the burning candle, and we having a iron strip, and in this on this iron strip we have placed wax at the different parts at the different distance on that iron strip. Okay, and what will happen if you will be expose it over the burning candle? So the burning candle will provide heat just those particles which are above the which are the over the uh, over the burning candle. Okay, so these all particles will absorb the energy and they will start vibrating, and these vibrating particles will transfer their heat to the neighbor particles, and slowly the neighbor particles will transfer the heat their heat to the another neighbor particles, and these another neighbor particles will transfer the heat to the another neighbor particles. Okay, so the heat transfer will start from the one end of the strip to the another end, and during this process the wax will start melting one by one from their position. Why? Due to the conduction of heat. So from this activity we can understand how the conduction of heat will take place inside the solids. Now next, good and poor conductors of heat. Let's see what will be the good conductor of heat and what will be the poor conductor of the heat. The rate of conduction of heat is different in different solids. Materials that conduct heat easily are called the conductors, like the metals. Metals are the good conductor of the heat. Metals are usually good conductor of the heat, which I have already stated to you. Materials that do not allow the conduction of the heat are called the insulators, like the plastic. Plastic are the insulator. The example: wood, cotton, rubber, clay, and the cork. Okay, so these all are the poor conductor of the heat, that is wood, cotton, rubber, clay, and cork. These all are the poor conductor of the heat. Air and water are also insulator of heat, and materials such as wool, feather, and fur act as the insulators because air is trapped inside their fibers, and as we know that air is a poor conductor of the heat. So this is the reason behind it. If the air is trapped inside the feather, wool, so means the air will act as a insulator because it is a poor conductor of the heat. Now next, practical application of conduction. What is the practical application of conduction? Pans used for cooking are usually made of the metals such as steel, copper, or aluminum. Why we are using these metals? Because these all metals are very good conductors of the heat, while their handles are made of plastic. Why? Because this plastic will act as an insulator, and it will sophisticate to us to handle these metallic vessels, these metallic pots. Okay, now next, clothes. Second point, clothes made of fur trap air inside them, and this trapped air then acts as an insulator. Means if you are wearing the clothes, so inside the clothes the air will trapped. Okay, and as we know that air is a poor conductor of the heat. It prevents heat from escaping, keeping our body warm during the winter. So this is the reason when we are wearing woolen clothes during the winter. Why? Because these woolen clothes will trap the air, and this air is a poor conductor of the heat. So due to this reason, our body will not lose its heat in the surrounding. So that is the reason. Now next, second way of the conduction of heat, that is the convection. So let's see what is the convection. Convection is the transfer of heat by the movement of the particles. Convection is the primary mode of heat transfer in fluids, that is the liquid and the gases. So the conduction was applicable mainly for the solids, but convection is applicable mainly for the liquids and the gases. Okay, so let's see how does convection takes place. Let's see convection, how does convection will takes place. Let's see. When a liquid or gas is heated, it expands. As a result, it becomes lighter and moves upward side. This is very important. Means whatever the particles of the liquid or the gases will exposed firstly to the source of energy, to the source of heat. Okay, they will absorb the heat and they will move upward direction. Okay, because they will be they having a heat, they having a energy, that is the kinetic energy. As a result, it becomes lighter, and due to this reason they will become lighter and moves upward side. So this is reason. Okay, now next, the cooler heavier fluid means those fluids which are existing just above the surface, on the surface of the liquid, they having no energy, means they are the cooler. So they will move in that direction where they can get heat. Okay, so let's see, the cooler heavier fluid from the surroundings rushes to take its place and is heated in turn. Now third point, this process continues and gives rise to a convection current through which heat energy flows and the entire liquid or gas gets heated. Students, you can see a figure number 4.9 in your book. Here the convection process is going on. Okay students, so for this process what we have to do, we must have to take a round bottom flask. Okay, if flask is not available, you can use a beaker also. Fill it 2/3 with water and place it on a tripod stand, or make some arrangement to place the flask in such a way that you can heat it by placing a candle below it. Okay, wait till the water in the flask is still. Place a crystal of the potassium permanganate at the bottom of the flask gently using a straw. Now heat the water by placing the candle just below the crystal. So what will happen? What will be your observation? Let's see. When water is heated, the water near the flame gets hot, and hot water rises up, and the cold water from the sides moves down towards the source of heat. You can see here. Suppose this is the round bottom flask. Okay, and you have placed in water and a one piece of the crystal, that is the potassium permanganate. Okay, and here is a source of energy. Here is a source of energy. What will happen? The water molecules which are existing just at the bottom of the round bottom flask, they will absorb the heat and they will move upward side. And whatever the molecules which are just existing over the surface of the water, they will move in that direction where they can get the source of heat, and then these particles will further absorb the heat and they will move upward side. So this will process will going on till whole water, whatever is existing in this round bottom flask, will not hot. So this is the convection process. By this process, the liquid and the gas will become hotter. Now next, convection current give rise to breeze in coastal regions. This is very important. And there are the two kinds of the breezes, that is sea breeze and second one is a land breeze. So let's see. During the day, the land heats up faster than the sea. So the air above the land becomes warmer and rises upward side. The cooler air from the above the sea rushes towards the land and take its place, resulting in a sea breeze during the day. Means the movement of the air is going on from the sea to land. Why? Whatever the air were existing on the land, it has been absorbed the energy and move in the upward side. Why? Due to the warm, and the air which is existing in the sea, these air molecules having the less energy, so they will move towards the that portion from where the air has been absorbed the energy and move upward direction. So the whatever the cavity has been developed by the air which has been moved upward side, it will be occupied by the sea air, which is the which will be the heavier and which will be the cooler air. Okay, so this is the process of convection. Okay, now second, land breeze. How the land breeze will take place? At night, the land cool faster, therefore the air above the sea is warmer than the air over the land. At night, cooler air from the land replaces the warmer air above the sea, resulting in the land breeze. So here you can see hot air how will move towards the upward side, and it will be in the space whatever the created by the hot air, it will be occupied by the cool air. And similarly here you can see the cool air at the night will exist on the land surface, and it will be and the hot air whatever the existing on the surface of the sea, it will move upward side, and the cool air from the land side, it will be occupy that space whatever the created by the hot air on the sea, in the sea. So this is the land bridge and the sea bridge. Okay, now next, practical application of the conduction. What are the practical application? Let's see. Exhausted fan in kitchens are always fitted high close to the ceiling so that they can remove the hot air that rise up. So this is the first application. Second, room heaters are placed on the floor of a room. When the cool air is heated, it rises up and the cold air flows down to the floor, and this result in effective heating of the entire room. This is another application. Now third one, the ventilators of a room at the top of a window or the door. This is because when the air in the room gets heated, it rises and passes out from the ventilators at the top. So these all were the three applications of the conduction. Now next topic, that is the radiation. This is the third way to conduction of the heat. The transfer of heat in the form of rays, for which a medium is not required, is called the radiation. Means there is no need of the medium to conduct the heat, and this kind of the conduction of heat, this kind of the transfer of heat is is called the radiation. Okay, this kind of the radiation, this kind of the transfer of heat is called the radiation. There is no need of the medium. These waves can move through vacuum. So let's see working of the thermos flask. The thermos flask is used to maintain the temperature of liquid kept in it. It keeps hot liquids hot or cold liquids cold for a longer time. The outer casing of thermos flask is made up of the plastic which act as a insulator, preventing the heat loose through conduction. Inside it is a double walled container made of glass or the stainless steel. Both the walls are polished, so they are shiny. The space between the two walls is a vacuum. This prevents the heat loose through the convection. The shiny surface of the wall also prevent heat loose through radiation. Now next, practical application of the radiation. What is the practical application of radiation? Solar heaters are designed to use the heat energy from the sun for the cooking food. This is the first application. Now second, we prefer wearing light colored clothes in the summer because light colors are the poor absorber of the heat. Conversely, we prefer wearing dark colored clothes in the winter because they are the good absorbers of the heat and thus keep us warm. So this is the practical applications of the radiation. So students, I hope you must have enjoyed this video. So thank you students.